StarCraft 1. An old-school real-time strategy game with pixelated units, gritty sci-fi dialogue, and the most intense campaign voiceovers I'd ever heard.
First you sell out every person on this world to the Zerg. Then you ask us to go up against the Protoss. And you're gonna send Kerrigan down there with no backup?
I have absolute confidence in Kerrigan's ability to hold off the Protoss.
To most people it was just a classic RTS game. But to me, a grade school kid struggling with English, it was something else. StarCraft 1 was my secret tutor, my science lab, my first step into a bigger world. In this video I want to share how StarCraft 1 helped me improve my English vocabulary and sparked a fascination with science, biology to be specific. All thanks to the Zerg tech tree and its research upgrades, and of course, our family's dusty Merriam-Webster dictionary and thesaurus on my desk. I started playing StarCraft in grade school. I barely understood the in-game text, but I was immersed. The story, the dialogues, the missions, the characters. So I did what any determined kid without any internet access would do. I opened a dictionary and started learning. Words like eradicate, concubine, and emanations weren't in my school books. They were in the game either on mission briefings or in-game dialogues.
The emanations of the chrysalis have called even more of our enemies to jar.
These too shall be eradicated by your hand, Cerebrate.
Have the mighty Templar lost their infallible courage?
Well spoken, concubine of the Zerg.
When Kerrigan threatened Phoenix, I had no clue what epitaph meant. But I wrote it down, looked it up, and remembered it.
Then that shall be your epitaph.
When the Overmind asked me to do his bidding, I have no idea what covenant was.
If ever your flesh should fail, that flesh shall be made anew. That is my covenant with all Cerebrates.
Or when Aldaris scolded Tassadar. I have no idea what it meant, but I know he's furious.
Consorting with the Fallen Ones is heresy.
Enough!
The game didn't just feed me vocabulary. It forced me to understand context, to read with purpose and emotion, to listen closely. That kind of immersion, it sticks. What made StarCraft different was the writing. Characters didn't speak like your usual cartoony characters. They sounded like war crusaders, rebels, and philosophers.
You speak of experience. I have journeyed through the darkness between the most distant stars. I have beheld the births of negative sounds and borne witness to the entropy of entire realities.
It was surreal and made me wonder the vastness of space. Arcturus Mengsk sounded very charismatic, carrying his own reality-warping bubble whenever he speaks during mission briefings.
I will not be stopped. Not by you, or the Confederates, or the Protoss, or anyone. I will rule this sector, or see it burnt to ashes around me.
These weren't throwaway lines. They had weight, tone, subtext. I started picking up not just words, but emotion, how delivery changes meaning.
To think that you were our brightest hope, our most beloved son. Now you are everything that we are not. You are lost to us.
I think I'll leave you here, Arcturus, among the ashes of your precious dominion. I want you to live to see me rise to power, and I want you to always remember, in your most private moments, that it was you who turned me loose in the first place.
He died because you betrayed him. How many more noble souls do you need to consume before you're satisfied? I'll see you dead for this, Kerrigan. For Phoenix, and all the others who got caught between you and your mad quest for power.
Duran is your enemy, Gerard. I suspect that he may even be infested as well. Use the disruptor, Gerard. Finish our operation. Let my death have at least some meaning.
StarCraft taught me English not just as a language but as a tool for storytelling. And then there were the Zerg. The Zerg are a terrifying alien race in StarCraft, known for their relentless swarm tactics, rapid evolution and hive mind intelligence. Playing Zerg meant diving into a world of mutation and terrifyingly real biology terms. I didn't know what anabolic meant until I saw the movement speed upgrade for Ultralisk's anabolic synthesis. I had to look up terms like adrenal glands, chitinous, ventral sacs. These weren't made-up names. They were real anatomy and physiology terms straight out of a biology textbook. StarCraft made me curious about the body, about genetics and mutations, about how organisms adapt and survive. All because I wanted my units to run farther and my overlords to carry units. Note that this was all before YouTube guides or Google searches, as I grew up without an internet connection. If I didn't understand a word, I had to look it up manually, write it down, repeat it by trying to use it in a sentence or a paragraph. And because I loved the game, I wanted to remember. The words weren't just floating in space, they were tied to emotions, to heroic triumphs, to failures and even betrayals. That's the secret. StarCraft isn't like school, but it taught me more than most lessons ever did. Especially in the part of carrying emotions when articulating words. It gave me a passion for performing monologues and analyzing speeches, and it also sparked a deep interest in science. Not just in biology but in the vastness of our galaxy. StarCraft was the reason I excelled in both English and science during my grade school years, and I will never forget it. Today I'm confident in my English. I even wrote several scripts and light novels back in high school, and I still love mind-boggling science facts. StarCraft ignited a thirst in me for well-written stories and games. So if you're like me, a gamer, a learner, someone who found meaning in pixels and dialogue boxes, I'd love to hear your story. What game helped you grow? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe even share it with that friend who still rushes with 6 Zerglings. See you in the next one.